Stockslagers is our name.
Hello, Duke Stockslager here with you today. I'm going to talk about planting flower bulbs. It seems as if every April and May we get phone calls. Do you have tulips? Can I come in and get daffodils? Folks, big secret. I'm going to let you in on it. You plant your fall bulbs for spring color now. And not necessarily today in September or October. You can plant the bulbs all the way up until the ground is too hard, frozen, to plant them. So it's fine to plant them in December, January even, if you lay them aside and forget where you've placed them. But most people like to wait until their annuals, their flower beds have been put to bed for the season. The last thing we do is grab our bulbs, go out, dig, drop, done. Very simple, 3 steps. Dig, drop, done. You should be looking for your bulbs now because quite often the garden centers will sell out. And if you think about it, at the end of October, chances of finding your bulbs may be a little bit more challenging. Always pay attention, and most of the bulbs and our clerks here at the store will help you. How deep do I plant these? How do I plant them? Well, we're going to cover a little bit of that, but for the most part, it's about 3 times deep the size of the bulb. So you've got a bulb that's maybe 2 inches. We're going to go down 6 inches into the soil. And when you're purchasing your bulbs, don't hesitate to squeeze them, to feel the firmness. The later in the season it gets, the more the opportunities that these bulbs have dry rotted and they're not going to come back for you. So pay attention to your purchase. Squeeze them, and I'm not saying squeeze them, but just feel some firmness on them and you'll be able to recognize that these bulbs are good and solid. So I like daffodils, and deer don't like daffodils. One more reason why I really do like the daffodils. Deer love tulips. So if you're in an area where you have a lot of deer and, well, they're just always coming in, plant the daffodils instead of the tulips. Plant the tulips up closer to your home, and deer, they still come up close to my house. But nonetheless, deer don't like daffodils. We're going to go out here and plant some daffodils in the garden. Let's go. Okay, we've made it outside. Really a gorgeous day. Chilly, coming into autumn, fun time of year. I found a location where I wanted to drop some tulip bulbs into the ground. So, put my spade aside and open up. These are daffodils. It's a mixture. And daffodils are also called narcissus. So if you think, well, I see the narcissus, but where are the daffodils? Same difference. So here I have the ones we're going to plant in the ground. And you can see the size of these. And if you're not certain which is up, ask the clerks at the store to help identify. Some are pretty easy to tell. Here's the roots on the bottom. Some of them are a little more challenging and not quite as obvious. So these may be 2 inches long. We're going to find a spot here, and I think I can get the grass aside. Remember, about 3 times depth for the size of your bulb, and I like to get the ground nice and worked up before I take it out. And as we dig in here, okay. Now, how close can you plant them? You want to be a little bit careful. You don't want to crowd them, not for next season's blooming, but for subsequent years down the road. If you plant them too close, they're going to get too crowded. They're not going to perform quite as well for you. So, sticking them down in there, and I'm not happy with my depth on this. Get a little bit more of the soil out. And this is only 3 bulbs, and I'm going to just go about 10-12 inches here with my little trench. You don't have to dig a trench. You can dig a one hole and drop them in. There's no special rule to that. Take your bulb, set it down in, place them in the soil. I want to get this weed out of there. There you go, and they can lean somewhat to the side. Having them straight up is good, but they're in the soil now, and we're about 6 inches deep on those daffodils. They're not going to push up out of the ground with the heaving, freezing, and thawing of this winter. So at this point, to start off, I just like to protect them a little bit when I drop the first soil in. From there, cover it up. The rains, freezing and thawing, will bring it all back in. And that's about really all there is to it, other than if you don't remember next spring where you planted them, surprise. If you do, then you can actually watch the area. Mother Nature takes care of the rest there. But bulb food is fine. There are bulb foods, bone meal, that help, and quite often folks will put a little bit. This soil here is very good. We've had flower beds here, so it's not going to hurt. And I feel that if you do want to put some bone meal or bulb food in, cover up about halfway, just a sprinkling of the fertilizer across. It'll get down to the roots of those bulbs and they'll take it up. There we go. It's a beautiful sunny day. Enjoy yourselves.